How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Wednesday here on the show, and you know what that means. Dynamite is tonight. And my God, we have 5 segments announced for the show. And Observer Live has only just begun? Anyway, it's an amazing number of segments announced. So we're going to plug that here today. And by the way, they had a lot advertised for Collision as well. And the Collision ratings are in, and that show did well. Almost like advertising. Matches and segments might actually, get people to watch. But anyway, we got other news as well. The G1, got the G1 update for today. Got a couple of medical notes. Want to wish the best to Brian Knobbs and Charles Robinson. We'll talk about what happened to them. The Vince McMahon TMZ gimmick on Fox last night. Our own Filthy Tom did an article for the front page, and he's here to tell us all about it today. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I will, but Tom saw it, and he's going to tell you all about it. Vince McMahon all over that show. Brock Lesnar has been advertised for some future events. We got a New Japan Stardom show taking place in China in October. And of course, the NXT TV report and plenty more. Lots of stuff to get into here today. If you want to text us, you always can. 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. Email f4wonline@gmail.com. I'm F4W Online, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. Yes, $10 cameos. At Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment to kick it off, everybody. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We got a big Elimination Chamber report here. And also Collision from Saturday, which actually was a pretty damn good show in its own right.
I was not told to watch Collision.
Vinny?
I forgot to text him Thursday night. I figured he'd be in bed. I said I'd do it tomorrow. And then Friday I bought a car. I was busy, and I've been forgot. John comes out, looks into the camera, and says, "There's a vibe in here tonight."
Sure is.
I'll see. Punk's eyes are bugging out of his head. Seth is still there screaming, "Die, die!" And Seth gets his way. Punk dies. John Cena wins. I thought the finish of this was incredible. Great stuff.
God, Travis Scott. Jesus God almighty. This was exactly like when Hogan used to come to the ring, Dennis Rodman trailing him, and Dennis Rodman was like on another planet. He had no idea where he was at, stumbling to the ring. He had basically have to drag him down there. This Travis Scott was on another planet, dude.
Well, the first time he was on the show was on that Raw show. He was smoking a blunt in the audience.
They go from the hug to a shot of Cena's angry heel face, and they cut right to Rock on. And then he kicks him right in the balls. And the crowd freaked out. The John Cena turned heel. Hulk Hogan, he was getting booed before he turned. It was a risk, but, they were getting sick of the guy anyway. The problem with Steve Austin was he was the top babyface, and there was nobody to replace him when he turned. John Cena's been gone forever. He comes back. It's not like he was going to be the top babyface. They got 50 babyfaces. Cody's the biggest babyface they got. There's no risk whatsoever turning John Cena heel. He's 10 times more interesting now. The Cena and Cody feud is 1,000 times more interesting.
Travis hit Cody Rhodes in the face as hard as he could. I bet that sucked.
This was a big deal, and I didn't see it coming.
You guys need to listen to Observer Live on Friday.
No thanks.
Because some dude called in, all bombastic and outrageous.
Do y'all think that John Cena is going to be the one that turns heel and joins The Rock as his champion?
No chance. And I shot him down. I laughed at him.
Wow.
I said it's not going to happen. John Cena's here to sell tickets and merch as a babyface for his last year. He ain't turning heel.
They need to make shirts for John Cena that just say, "Can you see me now?"
I got to apologize to old Dwayne. I thought that guy was out of his mind. He got me. It was awesome. I cannot wait to see where they go here. All right, back here on the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. You want to get on me, Tom?
No.
God, I'm irritated. Second day in a row. Anybody use Feedly? Anybody use Feedly?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
If anyone knows,
Feedly more?
It's just all glitchy the last couple of days. It's freaking unusable, and it is just driving me nuts. So if anybody is aware of anything, let me know. Anyway, we had a lot to get into today, Tom. We're going to talk about that Hogan thing. And actually, I forgot that I wanted to talk about this, but I just remembered. Who is this Paul Walterhauser? Who is this guy?
What do you mean, who is he? Why? I don't want to be brought into the middle of this.
He beat you in an MMA rules match.
By pinfall.
Still. God.
Yeah, he's a movie star who dabbles in wrestling, competes in wrestling. Does
he got mad at me the other
commentary.
day. You even brought it to my attention. Yeah, he got mad. He got mad because of something that I think Vinny said on the Bryan and Vinny show.
No, that's incorrect.
What did I say?
Craig was the biggest offender.
Okay.
Which means that he probably didn't listen to the show. And if he did, he is surely not a longtime listener, so he wouldn't understand the context and the way that you guys speak. And it actually was Craig. Craig is the one that said he saw him. He made some disparaging remarks about seeing him at Defy against Joey Janela that Paul Walterhauser actually brought up. That was Craig.
How about that? So once again, this is just like Punk. When
Well,
Punk
no,
got
I'm
mad
sure-
because
I'm
he heard
sure-
something out of context on something or whatever.
You weren't giving him, you didn't give him a glaring 5-star review. So
There was
I'm sure
nothing
he-
to say. He just did commentary for the show. I didn't say
Vinny-
anything negative about the guy, but now he's going to get it.
Vinny did make fun of the way he was dressed, but
I am not pleased by this one.
well,
You know why I'm
what?
so angry?
Luckily, Brian, the floor is yours.
You know why I'm so angry about it? It's because this idiot brought up cage match. If I have to hear... You know, the bane of my existence is cage match. God. Every problem in wrestling in some way or another is related to cage match. When did cage match become like something? It's like, he's talking about I had 70 matches in my career. God. Because of cage match. Because cage match lists like 70 matches or whatever. You know what? Somewhere I have written down every single solitary match. It was like Jericho when he did it for his career. I have every single match I have ever had written down.
Speaking of which,
What good is that going to do, though?
In that Instagram post, Jericho was backing him up.
Well, that guy's going to get it too then.
So
God. Brings up cage
Matt
match.
Cardona.
And
There's
then he's
number of
like
people
he's
ready
like
to go to
insulted that
bat for him.
whoever was questioning him, so he puts his whole resume like he's the Miz. Brother, if you're so famous, what are you putting your resume for? We should all know. Can't even believe this. God. Another dingbat getting mad at me because of something somebody else said.
Brian, we never even brought up what I remember over the weekend. I told you I almost got kicked out.
Oh yeah, what happened to you?
Because this some lineman on the visiting team at the indoor football game in Henderson, sold out, 5,000 people there, is yelling the F word. Hey, shut the F up into the crowd where there's kids, women, children around, and they're like, hey. So he comes back out, and I just stand up and start booing him. Boo, boo. And he starts yelling at me. Why don't you sit down and watch? Shut up and watch. And I'm like, I am watching, and you're currently losing. So then his coach turns around, says, don't you talk to my players. Don't talk to... And
He
then
can't talk to his players.
He can't talk, yeah, he can't yell at the players. So he runs off and he comes back, but he goes to the other side. And one of the players says to me, he goes, "Hey man, I'd watch out. Our coach trains MMA."
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, "You have got to be kidding me." I'm like, "I'm on one leg and I will mop the floor with this scrub right now." So then I sit down and security comes over and they said, "Hey, we were given a complaint from the coaching staff that you're harassing them." And I swear, some guy, like a guardian angel, not the guardian angel, but a guardian angel in a orange, reddish affliction shirt,
Oh, my God.
runs up, pats me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, I saw the whole thing. These guys are starting it, yelling at him. He didn't do anything wrong." And just pats me on the shoulder and runs up. And they're like, "Well, yeah, you know what? Fair enough. See you later. Have fun."
Wow.
And then Vegas won the game. So
Wow.
Taylor Goosner, the coach of the San Diego Strike Force, you geek of the century,
oh, wow.
nerd.
What's the guy's name?
Taylor Goosner, I think.
Taylor Goosner?
Something like that.
I'm going to talk to Farmer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want you and me versus Taylor Goosner and Paul Walter Hauser.
I'm in.
I want him to make that match.
I do it on one leg. I have a pre-surgery consult right after the show, and I'm prepared to put it off if I can get the fight with this guy.
You know, sometimes people will book a match and then I'll like shoot an angle for this on this show. This is totally the opposite right now. It's like nobody has contacted me about anything, but now I want this match. Me and you against Taylor Goosner and Paul Walter Hauser.
I don't want a pro wrestling
Whatever,
match.
I don't
wanna fight
care.
this guy.
I won't even train. Golly. Have Craig be the referee so he can take a bump because it's all his fault. Jiminy Christmas. I never said one negative thing about Paul Walter Hauser. I didn't even read this guy's comment about how he was the worst part of that one movie.
I like Paul.
I probably would like Paul too if he didn't get mad at me for something I didn't say. God. You know what? If you want to be a star, like a movie star, let me give you one tip. If you want to be a star, don't be every other geek on the internet who hears something secondhand that somebody else said and then takes it out on the wrong guy. You geek. Golly.
I love the
How many
fact you're-
people are going to get me in trouble for
You're
something
giving-
I never said?
You're giving advice on how to be a star to an award-winning actor who's in a multitude
Hey,
of high-profile
I don't
movies
care what
throughout
that
the
guy's
year,
done.
nonstop.
He's talking about my career like I've had 70 matches. So yeah, I'm going to talk about his acting career like I've been a big-time actor. Don't be every other geek. You know how many geeks we have on the internet? A lot of them. You don't have to be one of them.
Dude,
you
I've been
should
on
be
the-
above the geeks on the internet. Paul Walter Hauser.
I have been on the internet for a long time, and I have seen my fair share of geeks. And there are as many geeks as there's ever been.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
internet.
there's a lot of geeks on the internet. We could use a lot fewer. You don't have to add to the geek quote on the internet. Now, let's talk about some news before we bore everybody to death. That's too late. We got a commercial. Anything else you want to say about that coach while we got another minute? He trains MMA, huh?
I mean, that's what I was told.
What does that even mean nowadays? He trains MMA and wearing an affliction shirt.
No, he wasn't wearing an affliction shirt.
Who was?
My guardian angel. The guy that came,
Oh, good for that
came-
guy then.
Yeah, the guy that came to my aid. I was like, how fitting.
Good for
This,
that
this
guy.
This guy, they're like, hey, did you threaten this guy? I say, well, I mean, kinda, not really. And then a guy runs up and his shirt just has skulls, crossbones, fists, diamonds all over it. And they're like, yeah, we're trusting this guy's word. He's good. Yeah,
Well, I'm
you're
glad
good to go.
that got all handled. Now you can go back to a game again and enjoy yourself.
I'm not sitting by the visitor team. Again, I'll tell you that much.
Were your kids there?
No.
Oh. I thought that's why you were so upset that the guy was swearing so much.
Well, no, I was upset because they had these $5 mystery drinks in the foyer.
And They sucked.
You know.
Vinny and
No,
I, Vinny
but
once
for
won one of those.
$5 at a sporting event to get a drink, you're taking as many as you can. So
Back when Vinny was single, he won one of those trips to Vegas and he got to bring someone in it, so he brought me. And they had this gimmick where he got free drinks. What a gimmick. There was zero alcohol in them whatsoever.
just like
Back
us.
in a moment. Observer Live. If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done. Over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of the Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan and Vinny Show, Figure Four Daily, Filthy Four Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, F4WOnline.com. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. All right, let's get down to real business here. Important business. First off, I want to wish the best to Brian Knobs. He has a recurring infection and may have to have his foot amputated. They found out my foot is infected again. He said now they're talking about amputation. His wife also recently suffered a broken ankle. She's laid up in rehab. My best friend in the world passes away. That would be Hulk. Just been a tough road. And he's got a GoFundMe set up. So all the best to Brian Knobs. Buff Bagwell obviously recently had his leg amputated. So he says, I see my buddy Buff. He's still fighting the good fight. In my mind, I'm not losing any of my limbs. They already told me they ain't just going to amputate my foot. They want to go higher or higher. You never know. It ain't going to happen. I'm totally against it. And then we want to wish the best to Charles Robinson, who, I swear to God, this is true.
I don't want to laugh at this, but when I saw this,
It's ridiculous.
every time I read it, I was like, huh?
You know what's so amazing about it, before we tell you what happened?
That it doesn't happen more often?
I was reading to Hanalei before bed last night, and she's got this little book about bats. And so I'm reading this book about bats and all these bat facts. And, you know how 5-year-olds are. They got facts for you as well. She told me all these facts about bats. I'm not even sure if they're true or not.
Oh.
But, she goes, I don't think there's any bats around here, Daddy. And I said, actually, I actually have seen a couple of bats. I don't see them often, but I have seen a bat or two around here. But, they're not going to, they're not going to get you or anything. So I go to bed, I wake up, and there's a shot of Charles Robinson in the hospital. He says, great way to start the morning, 2 a.m., I got bit by a bat. That's right, a bat. 4 hours later in the ER and 6 shots.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, holy smokes, all the best to him. That is absolutely wild. He was bit by a bat.
Where was he, in his house?
I don't know. I don't have any other details at this point.
Was he dressed up in a suit?
I mean, it was 2 a.m., so he must have been outside somewhere.
Well, was he wearing a purple and green suit adorned with a ton of question marks? It's possible. Yeah, I mean, if I would have told you Charles Robinson got bit by a bat, you'd look at me crazy too. So,
also want to wish the best to Casey Navarro. He's suffered a torn ACL in the 4-way tag team title ladder match at Slammiversary. And he's got to...
yeah.
The 4-way ladder match at Slammiversary. I watched that.
That was the tag.
I know. I'm trying to think where he got hurt. Because I don't remember. I just remember that bump that what's his face? Top Dollar took. I thought he was going to get surgery to replace his balls. That was a bad one.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to Casey.
And there was also an update on the Adriana Rizzo
Yeah, what did she say?
injury. Adriana Rizzo said that she had a possibly torn ACL going into it. So she knew the risks. She's going to be back. Don't worry.
Somebody sent that to me today and said, like, something about me or something like that. I literally said all of that. I said she had a partially torn ACL. Then she tore her ACL. And then she had another. Like, I read all of that. Why is everyone always mad at me about everything? You know who else I want to wish the best to before we move on? Is Paul Walterhauser. Just because I'm a nice guy. All right. You watched the Vince McMahon TMZ deal.
I did, yeah.
I only saw the a clip of Vince. And
Yeah. You know, in my report that's up on the front page of WrestlingObserver.com for subscribers only, I described Vince McMahon, and I did have a typo, but I described Vince McMahon as a papier-mâché Cruella de Vil.
Wow.
That's what he looked like to me. But later on, I kind of like to amend that statement, because later on as I watched, and specifically towards the end, which I thought was perhaps the most intriguing thing of the entire documentary, is at the end, they're going over Hulk and Jimmy Hart coming out at the Netflix premiere for Raw. And Jimmy Hart said, man, it killed Hulk. Like, it was tearing him up on the inside. He said the louder the crowd booed, the more he waved that flag. Goldberg said he was upset by the crowd and the way that they handled it. And then they went to Vince. And Vince said that this was the biggest star in the history of the sport. He deserved more from the people running the company than to just bring him out there and say, hey, this is Hulk Hogan. He said the way that the WWE, the front office, handled it made him angry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Too bad. Hey, listen, I just said that I was a nice guy,
but-
and a nice guy doesn't make fun of someone else's appearance.
No,
So
Brian.
I won't say anything about Vince other than the footage I saw was from behind the TMZ guy, and so you just saw the TV screen and Vince was on it. I thought it was that puppet from Bray Wyatt's Menagerie, the Vince puppet.
I actually will say something disparaging about his looks because, like I said earlier, I wanted to amend my statement that he looked like a papier-mâché Cruella de Vil. I thought about this more, and after I saw him a few more times, it looked like he was like bubbling. You know what I mean? He was falling apart, like skin was just coming off of his body, and I thought, like, is he disintegrating? But I mean, is it perhaps the truth that instead there's a demon trying to rise from his body?
What
and
are you
instead
talking about?
His skin is
After
bubbling
dark
up.
is at 2, although not today.
I mean, everybody looks at Vince as this evil guy, but maybe he's the one that's been keeping in what's really evil away from society.
Okay, what in God's name are you talking about?
He
How
looked-
was the show itself? Was it good?
You know, I thought it was a pretty fair and accurate assessment of Hogan's life and career. I guess as much as you can accomplish with 2 weeks and 1 hour of television time, 2 weeks of prep time. They talked about him, you know, both his heroic and villainous aspects of Hogan and Terry Bollea. And kind of early on in the show, Harvey from TMZ, which they had, the show opened with footage from the War Room, the TMZ War Room, when they got the news that Hogan had died. And it was a frenzy until they got the headline out there, Hulk Hogan dead at 71. But early on in the show, Harvey made it quite clear, you know, that a lot of people looked at Hogan as a hero, and in reality, he had many, many faults, and he was nothing more than just a human being.
Yeah.
So I don't know what more you can. Out of the things
Well, I
I've
mean,
seen,
who
I
else
think
was
it's
on it? What
About
else-
as
what else did you
unbiased as
see?
you can get it. There was a number of people: Sly Stallone, Charlotte, Alexa, Mick Foley was particularly great. Mark Henry was fantastic on this as well. Mick Foley at the end said basically, like, you know, Hogan said some bad stuff about him in the media, in public, in interviews, and later on made it a point to go into the media once again in public and say that he was wrong and take those comments about Mick Foley back. And Mick said if he measures the stuff Hulk said against the things that he did, he thinks Hogan caused a lot of good in this world and comes out ahead in the long run. And that's how he is going to remember him.
Any other notes?
No, you can go if you're
Okay,
subscriber,
Tom's got
you
a
can go
full
read the report
up on the
Brian.
front page right now if you guys want to read it. I thought you might give us all of the information here if there's anything else exciting about it. Nothing?
I mean, there's like Jimmy Hart said in the final days of the Hulkster, the final months, he had to walk with a cane, and in public appearances instead he would use Jimmy Hart as the cane. Jimmy Hart, much like on SmackDown, one of the best and worst parts of the show during that Hogan Memorial, I was torn up seeing how torn up Jimmy Hart was there. And once again, seeing him just talk about his friend, the Hulkster, it's painful.
I mean, they were friends forever, you know? Forever.
Yeah, I want Jimmy Hart. I don't know Jimmy Hart whatsoever. I've never met the man, but that is who I want to give my eulogy when I pass.
Yeah.
So if we can make that happen,
I'll do my
I'd be
best.
a happy man. Yeah.
We got an update on Brock Lesnar. He's advertised for the September 12th SmackDown and the September 19th SmackDown. So as we talked about, they're going to be doing a head-to-head PLE with AEW All Out. All Out will be in Toronto. WWE is going to do a show in Indianapolis. And John Cena and Brock Lesnar is scheduled to be that main event. I also should mention this because we've been talking about it. So, you know, originally the final John Cena match was going to be in early December, Saturday night's main event. And this is not confirmed, okay? But it does look like there is now discussion that that date will be moved, so it will be head-to-head with AEW World's End. And we did talk about how there's going to be one more of these before the year was out, and I think they're going to try and put the final John Cena match on Saturday night's main event in Boston, head-to-head with World's End. So we'll see if that ends up happening. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Warner Brothers Discovery announcement came out, and the gist of it is Dynamite and Collision are going to remain on Wednesday and Saturday. Rampage appears to be history, which we had thought. Dynamite and Collision is stream live on Max if you're a U.S. subscriber.
$555 million over 3 years, $185 million a year. Average $185 million a year. It starts lower. The middle year would probably be about that, and the third year would be up from that, and then the fourth year would be way up.
Big question for me is, are all the archives up? Or going to be up? Can I go back 5 years ago and watch all of the Dynamites in order?
I believe that they will be. Yeah, this won't be till January. I don't know that as a fact, but they're putting archival programming on, so there will be, I don't know if everything will be up, but there will be, I mean, I expect that everything will be up, yeah. I had a little announcement I wanted to make. A lot of people got really exposed, when this.
Oh no, yeah, save that for the Garrett show.
I mean,
save that one.
Why? You don't want any heat from these people who
Well,
deserve...
no, but I've heard it multiple times.
I've been sitting here playing punching bag for these clowns for years, and I mean, this was great. This was quite the week of vindication between the Vince McMahon documentary and this deal. Yes, for me. It was an even bigger vindication for Tony Khan. Not that, it's even though they're completely different topics. The guy who spent 5 years with all these clowns calling him a money mark, and they went through a couple of years in money losses, which a lot of businesses do. And they could afford it, but the long-term goal was always to make this thing profitable. So at the end of the day, here we are, and with this deal, this is going to be the second most profitable pro wrestling company in the history of pro wrestling, and all of these people that and it's like, I'm not saying you should have figured that much out, but in the last year, it kind of was leaning this way. And even if it wasn't going to be the second most profitable company in the history of pro wrestling, it would end up being profitable, which once you're profitable, the term money mark goes out the window. So anyway, this is like complete vindication. Jericho actually went on the show. I mean, it was almost like he was reading my mind with that line about, boy, did all these experts come off as being really stupid and out of touch. I don't know if he used those words, but they were. Because it's not like this came out of nowhere. We've been talking about this for months. I've been telling people. I've been telling them. I go you better frickin' pivot, because you're going to look like fools if this deal comes in the way it looks it's going to come in. And none of them could stop. They're so deep into it. They've been lying to their podcast listeners for God knows how long. So anyway, there's a lot more to that. But anyway, I did want to get that off my chest.
God. Remember 2 weeks ago, I was talking about how I still hadn't sent out the prizes for the prediction show? And I said, hold me to it. I'm going to do it this weekend, everybody, I promise. Well, I did it. And Kevin just messaged me, and he's like, do you have a tracking number? I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And so I went back to look, and this is FedEx, by the way. It was mailed on Monday, July 28th, 2 weeks ago, okay? This package has gone from Elmsford, New York, to New Jersey, Ohio, Illinois, Miami, Bakersfield, Stockton, Sacramento. It is now in Kennesaw, Georgia, where it departed on Saturday. What is happening? God. Sorry, dude. Doing my best. It's ridiculous. All right. We got to talk about NXT. What'd you think of this show? I know what you liked.
Oh, boy. That opener. I loved it. It's on the very short list. Perhaps it's a one-match list.
Is there a list?
I don't know. Of the female monster fight category. Nia Jax versus Lash Legend in the opener. I mean, the show could only go downhill from there after this. They set this up in the Evolution Battle Royal last month, a few weeks back, which was won by Stephanie Vicaire. This was one of the focal storylines of the match. And then, Brian, did you notice, of all things, what Nia Jax opened up the match with?
What's that? A guillotine?
Guillotine choke, paying homage to none other than yours truly. And Lash, really impressive powerhouse. We rarely ever see anyone throw Nia around like she could. I mean, you'll see people hit power moves on Nia. Bianca, can lift her up. But Lash is one of the few women who's Nia's equal physically. They brawled outside the ring, set up these ring steps near the announce desk, fought back inside, then outside again. Lash went to slam Nia, but Nia was too big, too strong, crushed her through the announce desk. Lash barely beat the 10 count in, but the fight raged on. Lash tried to powerbomb Nia out of the corner, but I would say in the annals of wrestling history, Nia hit the all-time most heinous annihilator.
Well, that's not
Yokozuna
true
splash,
because I
whatever.
think every other annihilator she hits practically looks like it killed somebody. This one was brutal. Lash was trying to do a walking powerbomb out of the corner, and she was supposed to lose her balance and have Nia fall on her. Nia murdered her. Like, feet in the air,
Yeah.
all of her weight, and then, like, poor Lash is dead. She's grabbing her guts. The referee's making sure she's alive. And then Nia goes up and does another one, which thankfully was more protected. But, oh, my God, that first one, I'm like, couldn't you just have pinned her and, like, been nice? I mean, this match was great. I thought the match was great, but that finish, oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It was the best / worst one in the history of wrestling. I mean, remember there was the one where Yokozuna, like, crushed that jobber? He basically did the same thing
Yes.
Nia did here, but he was already on the ground. Lash went from standing to the ground with Nia crushing her at the same time. It was so bad. Like you said, Nia's feet never touched the ground on the way down.
No, horrible.
It was all gluteus maximus to the max on Lash. Oh,
That was a good match, though. Hey, Kevin, I just emailed the place to see what we can do about it. Sorry for that. Ridiculous. All right, then we had Darkseid doing a promo. So it is a thing now. This white guy, last week he made a comment about all up their butt, and everyone laughed. Yeah. And this time he says, we're going to start taking turns on their butt. And there's awkward silence. Finish on top, he says. And the other guys they put their hands in there. They're like, oh, my God, this guy. So now I think they discovered that people thought it was funny, so now he's got to do it every week, this poor guy.
yeah.
They are such incredible geeks.
These guys.
Yeah. We had Chelsea running into numerous unidentified women, which set up Kendall Gray versus Alba.
No, she did identify him.
One of them, Kelly Armstrong, and then everyone else was unidentified. It's okay. If they don't care, I don't care, so I'm not mad about it. Then we had Charlie Dempsey and Joe Hendry. Did some great chain wrestling early. Actually,
hold on.
The best thing Joe Hendry...
The match was like 3 minutes.
It didn't go all that long.
Early,
but like,
Joe Hendry didn't survive the Charlie Dempsey challenge here.
The best stuff Joe Hendry does is actually his technical wrestling. It was great.
He's a Greco-Roman Commonwealth
I know, but it was all
champion,
pro wrestling stuff. It's like switch out of the arm wringer gimmick. Anyway, Joe made a comeback, hit his finish, and won. I think Charlie needs to figure out how to get out of that no-quarter catch screw next. It's not serving him well.
No. Who was booking him? Like, he's on another level lately as a geek. Lost everybody in his crew. He's out here just getting squashed by a guy that popped out of the fridge last week. That's how this feud went down.
Then we had Josh Briggs coming out for a promo. My God, this guy got heat. He's like the new Don Callis here in NXT. They're chanting, "Turn his mic off." But then, you know the best way to get his mic turned off is to yell profanities. But instead, they just chant, "Shut the hell up." So that was very polite. And then Inamura comes out, and they're going to have a Philadelphia street fight next week on NXT, which happens to be in Philadelphia. Had a Jordan Grace sit-down promo. I actually thought this was the best Jordan interview maybe I've ever seen. Just talking about growing up and, never really been... The real battle has not been with my body. It's been with my mind, my self-worth. Little voice saying I'd never be good enough no matter how hard I try.
Is it that one?
God, my voice.
The little voice coming out of your mouth right now?
I don't know what's going on. So she vowed to take out Blake at Heatwave. We had we actually have another Blake. This would never happen with Vince. There's some new bloke, Blake Howard, interview guy. Blake Howard.
Oh, that was his name?
I think so. And he interviews JC. I swear to God, his debut in WWE, his first ever appearance as an interviewer. This was his... I almost dropped an F-bomb. It's so ridiculous. His question to JC Jane is, and I quote, "How important is it to win this match?" What a question. Obviously important, she says. They get in an argument. Masha and Ash show up, along with their personal concierge. And then what's-her-face from Evolve, who they didn't identify, showed up.
Yeah, who was that?
I forgot her name again.
Was that
Lacey Reed or whatever?
Laney Boggs?
Lacey?
Laney Boggs?
Yeah. Why is it so hard to put graphics on the screen?
She's all that.
Golly. We had a great... the best four-person group in all of wrestling is Oba, Trick, Moose, and Javon. They're awesome. So we'll get to them in a minute. Lola and Kalani versus JC and Fallon. We had Lola murdering JC with a back fist. Kalani hit a split-legged moonsault. So I don't know why I wrote Jordan gets a title match soon. It was late at night. It was a pretty good match.
No,
although
you would think she would, but instead what they actually did was it's Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, and Jada Parker facing off in a three-way for a title shot.
Okay. We'll get to that. We had Kendall Gray at Alba Fire.
Why? I just got through it.
You know what's funny is this Kendall Gray is like so far beyond how good she should be. And one of the big things is she wasn't a gymnast, and so they don't make her do stupid stuff in her matches. She just wrestles, and she's better than virtually all of the green women that they've got. And, it's like that Kalani match. It's like anytime Kalani wasn't doing gymnastics and silly stuff, she looked good. And then they just have her do some goofy, I got to do a twist into a flip into a whatever. Like, oh my God. Just do one a match. I don't need 50. But anyway, she lost. And then Ethan cut a promo.
Oh, whoa. She lost. I thought Alba Fire looked fantastic.
She did.
Here, she looked awesome.
She looked very good in this match. So anyway, they've set up
I love the Secret Hervis.
A match with Tyra May Steele and Tavion Heights against these two. And the funny thing is, they're really building up that these two are Olympic gold medalists.
Well, no.
Even though
she is an Olympic gold
Well, they're
medalist.
both Olympians. They're the Olympian team. But neither Tavion Heights nor Tyra May Steele were in the Olympics.
What? Yes, they were.
No, not under these names. It's stupid.
Well, okay. Yeah.
If you're going to build them as Olympians and push them as Olympians, why are they not using the names that they won or competed in the Olympics in? It's so stupid, and it makes me more angry every time.
Tavion came out. He said, Kendall Gray would have been a good pick because she was a 61-0 amateur wrestler in college. But he said, there's only one woman who's done this in WWE history. There's only one woman who's won an Olympic gold medal. Tyra May Steele.
I was like, no, she didn't. It was Tyra May Steele.
And more importantly, she won season 1 in LFG.
And more importantly, yes. Well, they did give a graphic this week to quote, the personal concierge to the Elegance brand. I gotta give him credit for that. Thank you. Then we had the main event. God. It's Moose and Oba and Trick and Javon versus Dark State. And, like, Moose, Oba, Trick, and Javon are so awesome in this match. They were so great. And Saquon's good. The other 3 guys are just there. They're so green. They're having to be held by the hand. The referee is screaming at everybody that we're out of time.
We gotta go! We gotta go!
And they're just still doing their stuff. And then, of course, Javon ends up by himself in the ring. Trick could have made the save, but he didn't. And so these frickin' geeks pin Javon. And I was so furious. Because next week, it is Javon versus Trick. And the winner gets Oba. Okay? So it's like, okay, we have a couple of options here. Maybe, you know, their idea is, well, Javon's going to pin Trick. And then go on to either win or lose against Oba. Which, like, if that's the case, why did he lose to these nerds? Or, like, if he's going to lose to Trick next week, I'm even more furious that he lost to these nerds. Like, he's got to be beating Trick. But, again, okay, so the guy beats Trick and he beats Oba, but he just lost to these geeks? I don't get it, dude. It's not my company, so I can't care that much, but golly, if it was, I'd be firing someone. And I like Sean. But this is stupid. And then Hank and Tank hit the ring and beat up Dark State. Finisher of the main event was so stupid, but I thought that the overall show was pretty good.
I thought the main event was good because they ran the opposite structure that you normally would and just had the guys who were good beat up the team who's inexperienced. And
who then beat Javon. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.
It's Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V, and we hope that you enjoy the show.
Should I do one more time? Huh? I played the entire song before realizing I had not hit record.
I figured as much.
So I had to start the entire show over again. Uh-oh. Is my internet down? My internet died.
Yeah.
All right. Stand by, everybody. Hi, everybody. We're back. And we're just gonna barrel on through, right, Vinny? What do we have on that Facebook thing? Now it says no audio. Jared, do we have audio?
I can hear you.
Honestly, what is going on?
Yeah, we just watched a movie
What
about
is
this.
up with my internet? Lost everybody again. Curry says no problems with the Big Vinny V show.
His words.
Not since the first one.
I was gonna say the very
There have
first
been
one was a
Many
disaster.
problems. Many
Yes.
problems.
We've had quite a few.
Yeah, and you know what I do? I just barrel on through.
Brian.
Barrel on through should be the name of this show. What the hell's going on this week? Like every single show, something goes terribly wrong. Today, I didn't have the music set to go at first. Then I got it set to go, but I forgot to hit record. Finally, I hit record and got the song going right. Golly. One disaster after another here. We're starting 15 minutes late. I still can't find the video, Jared. Is it up? Where is everything? Granny's joining us here today via phone. We cannot connect our audio or video. It's a blank screen. I don't know what's going on. What are we doing? Should we just quit today? I don't know what the problem is, Granny. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what's going on. We still have no video. I got a question. Where's the goddamn video at?
You gotta fire Jared.
All right, now it's up. Hello, everybody.
This is the one you told me to do last week, Undertaker plus Psycho Kid.
Okay.
Are you done laughing?
Yeah, we're done.
Yes, Granny, I apologize.
There'll be more.
Then Psycho Sid comes out with blonde curly hair. Hard to pull. Lasts a while before he gets out of it. I had to give that a 10.
A 10.
Oh, wow.
Undertaker won a match and a belt. That's a 10 on the granny scale.
Victor is still at it more than ever this week, as far as the soaps go.
Hell of a report, Granny.
All right.
That was a 10 on the Granny soap opera report scale.
That's just a minute.
Jared, you're forgiven. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Well, I should mention that there's no After Dark this afternoon. It'll be a replay. Kids got camp. I got to pick them up early. And we didn't have a guest anyway. And last week's show, I got a lot of great reviews. The one where we talked about dinosaurs and dragons. We're going to get that guy back soon. But if you didn't get a chance to hear it, listen today. 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. However you're listening to this show, you can listen at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. And then we have got we got Dynamite coming up here tonight. A lot of exciting stuff. Hangman Page and MJF face-to-face. Jon Moxley versus Kevin Knight. Jon Moxley did a... did you see the segment that he did on, like, the Cincinnati News or something?
On his favorite news channel, Channel 9.
Or he was talking about the Hot Pocket?
I didn't see the Hot Pocket, no.
Oh, my God. This guy needs to do all of the media for... Like, they should pay him double to do all of the media for AEW. He was incredible on the show. Adam Copeland versus Stokely Hathaway. Mercedes Tekla and Sky Blue versus Alex Windsor, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale. And Kyle Fletcher will meet his Forbidden Door opponent. And apparently, you know, Tanahashi's scheduled on the undercard of a show tonight in Japan, so I guess...
Maybe my dream will come true.
It'll be you?
No. Are you kidding me? The current pound-for-pound best that New Japan has. Maybe it'll be El Desperado.
Could be. We're going to find out tonight. So we're going to wrap it up, everybody. I'll be back later on tonight with Dave. Wrestling Observer Live, I believe, solo tomorrow. And maybe Fun Friday, unless Tom wants to jump in that day. So we'll get a lot to get into, everybody, and that's it. We'll talk to you again next time. Wrestling Observer Live.